We are here to bring before the Canadian public facts about human rights in Cuba, facts about the real plight of Cuban workers, how they're exploited by a communist dictatorship. We want to begin a conversation with Canadian public opinion about what's really going on in Cuba because of the impact and the influence that Canada has in Cuba.
Of course, the human rights have been violated worldwide through all the history of humanity. But right now, the most important issue is happening in Cuba. This cruel repression, this lack of liberty, of freedoms in Cuba, it's very important for them to know that every dollar that people spend in Cuba goes straight to the military that owns all the tourism infrastructure in Cuba. So every dollar you spend in Cuba goes straight to the repression. So you have to know that because Cuban people is wonderful, but it's being right now repressed and enslaved by the communist regime.
We know that most Canadians going to Cuba go as tourists, and they go to enjoy the beaches, the beautifulness of the island, but they ignore, they are not aware of the tragedy of the Cuban people. And there is a relationship, direct relationship, because Canada may play a big role just to bring justice to Cuba, just to bring freedom and rights to the Cuban people have been suffering for 6 decades of a communist dictatorship.
Our major concern now is that those Cubans who have risen, who have raised their voice to speak about the plight of Cuban workers and the persecution of the people by this dictatorship are being imprisoned, they're being sentenced to huge amount of years, they're being punished and they're being repressed for speaking out. And obviously, Cubans have demonstrated they have a desire for change, they have a desire to live in freedom, and we think that Canada has a role to play, and we think it's time that Canadians reflect on these realities about Cuba.
This is City News Everywhere.